All right, let's have a chat about the Nintendo Switch 2. If you know me, you would know that I'm a huge fan of the Nintendo Switch. I have the Nintendo Switch OLED, which I love this thing. I got this a few years ago and I have to play every day. If I get a down day, this is where I'm spending my time. So when they announced the Nintendo Switch 2, I was very excited. Let's run through the pros and the cons from my point of view. Firstly, I love the look of the Nintendo Switch 2. It looks awesome, it's amazing. The sleek black, it looks amazing. It's great that they made the screen bigger. It's also even better that they made the controls bigger, because for me, when you take this apart and you're playing like this, it feels really cramped. So any extra space on the remotes, the Joy-Cons, that's really appreciated. The screen went from 6.2 inches to 7.9 inches. I had to check my notes there. It's from 6.2 to 7.9. I find this size is pretty good, but I would welcome the additional space. They also made the screen even better. It's now 1080p, 120 Hz, variable refresh rate, and it supports HDR. One of the best things about it is they made the Joy-Cons magnetic. Mine right now, I'm guessing I need new Joy-Cons because it just comes out. I don't have to press anything, and it's difficult to play in handheld mode because when I'm playing, it just slips. And then, especially when I'm playing online, imagine I'm in first place in Mario Kart and then this comes apart and then the game freezes and stuff, and by the time I get it connected, I'm in dead last. Now the new Joy-Cons, they're magnetic, so you just put them here and they click. Now when you're on the dock, you get 4K on the TV, up to 60 Hz HDR. Game chat is another feature. This is like when you're playing a game, you could have conversations with friends and their faces. If they have the camera, there is also a camera. You could connect cameras to it now. So it's like video screening while you're playing, and your image would be right there. I'm not sure if I would use this because when I'm lying in bed relaxing playing Nintendo, I'm not sure if I want to be talking to anyone. I just want to go and but there would be people that would use this. Now the biggest thing for me is the game that they announced with it, which is Mario Kart World. I'm a huge Mario Kart fan. I love to play online. I play online all the time. It upsets me, but that's Mario Kart. You could be in first place and then 2 seconds later you're in dead last. So I'm very interested in playing Mario Kart World. There are a lot of new additions to it. You could basically play the entire world, not just the different courses, but between the courses as well. And then they up the players from 12 players to 24 players. This should be very chaotic. You also get more USB ports. When I'm playing and I need to charge, I'm lying down in bed and I need to charge, the USB port is at the bottom. If it's resting on me, I often play like this with the Joy-Cons like this because it's the laziest mode I could play in. And when it's charging, the Nintendo is resting on me, so the USB port is on the bottom, and that's kind of uncomfortable. So to have one on the top as well is a well-needed addition. You also get more storage, upping it from 64 gigabytes to 256, which is, it's kind of needed because the games are bigger as well. And then you also get better speakers, which will come in handy. Which brings me to some of my cons. Now this con is something that I think that all of the Nintendos need. I feel they need a browser. Like when I'm traveling, I don't want to have to carry an extra tablet or something extra to watch Netflix. I do have YouTube on this, but if you want to watch Netflix or just do something, it's just a browser. It doesn't have to be the best browser, but it would be nice to have a browser to do something and watch something else like Netflix, or if you just want to look up something quickly, then yeah, I've always felt like you need a browser. You don't need extra apps or anything, just a browser, a simple browser that wouldn't take up too much processing power, but at the same time you could use it to do things. The biggest con that I see, and most people would see, is the price. We're looking at about $450 That's for the console itself, but then with Mario Kart, then it goes up to 500, and then the additional stuff, the price goes up. You're getting into PlayStation 5 and Xbox territory. You know, I was looking up the price of PlayStation 5 on Amazon, and you're getting that for about 600, somewhere around there. So a Nintendo being $500 is kind of a bit much. You also have to realize that the Nintendo caters to a younger audience, and people, I don't know if they're really gonna want to spend that kind of money on like the kids, they're 4, 5, 6-year-old kids. But I also saw that it is the #1 selling console ever, which I'm surprised but not really. You know, I know that's oxymoronic because some of the cons, for instance, like I said, I have, let me put this together for you. I have the OLED version. I love this OLED screen. It's not the greatest screen in the world, but it's pretty good. And the new one doesn't come with OLED. I think it's an LCD screen. I've heard people say that it looks great, but to me, I need that OLED. And this to me is the biggest reason why I would hold off from getting it. For me, personally, I don't want to be too technical, but I love an OLED screen. And for it to not have an OLED screen and you're spending $450, $500, that is a big con for me. I'm also hearing that the battery life is not as good, and that's due to the same reason, because it doesn't have an OLED screen. The screen takes up more power. So for me right now, if you're asking if I'll get it or not, for me it's a pass. It's a pass. Because of those few cons, those are deal breakers for me, at least for now. I'm anticipating, and everyone is anticipating, at some point Nintendo will bring out some other versions. Hopefully they get an OLED version, then I would jump on that for sure. I would definitely jump on that. And I would spend that price or thereabout for an OLED version. So imagine if you're spending $450, $500 for the non-OLED version. I'm guessing the LCD. How much would an OLED version cost? That's the question. Remember, the PlayStation 5 is $600, so what are we talking about here? And speaking of price too, the games are also more expensive. The Joy-Cons, everything is more expensive. Maybe in the future that the prices would go down, but let's see what happens. That's us chatting about the Nintendo Switch. Let me know what you think, if you would get it, how you feel about it. Yeah.